The Saints are back, baby. The Saints made some huge moves while also making some sad moves at the same time. We'll talk about all that in just a moment on the latest episode on the Who Dat Weekly. Let's go ahead and hit that intro, gang. Hit it! Welcome to the Who Dat Weekly, featuring the Dirty Dale's finest, Christopher J. Spies. How is everybody doing today? Wow, man, what a day for the Saints. Something that we haven't really personally witnessed in a hot minute. It's been a few years, but we have a lot of good reason to be pretty happy about it because a lot of things have happened in the past week. So before I get into this conversation, I'm really excited to talk about this, but let me quickly share this live stream on Facebook. This is all last minute stuff, so bear with me, guys. But how's everybody's day today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. How are you guys enjoying my new mini series so far? Hope you guys are enjoying it because I've been putting in a lot of work. I was actually in the middle of kind of like editing and almost finished with episode 3 of this series. Where is Facebook? I'm sorry, y'all. Give me 2 seconds. But I'm almost done with episode 3, and I can't wait for you guys to check it out. I think you guys are going to absolutely love it. Let's see here. I cannot find... Where is it? Where'd it go? Here it is. Okay, found it. Bam. Okay, we got that. I'm going to click post in 2 seconds. Bam. And let's see, hit send. Perfect. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. I meant to send that sooner, but as I just mentioned, this is all breaking news sort of stuff. So you've seen the raw live footage of me trying to get things situated and organized. Anyway, so let's go ahead and talk about the Saints. The Saints made some moves today. And we're going to, as you see on the screen below, the Saints made some recent free agency moves. And we're going to talk about how the departures of Demario Davis and Alontae Taylor, how that impacts the team. And then we should ask the million-dollar question, who the Saints going to get next? Because this is just the beginning of free agency. So, very exciting stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about the big ones that we have seen so far. So far, we've seen the Saints get Travis Etienne from Jacksonville, and that's somebody I was not anticipating whatsoever. I knew we need a running back, but Travis was never on the agenda, if you know what I mean. I'm sure a lot of us were thinking that Travis was never on the brain or anything of the sort. But this is huge because we definitely need running backs. We need them really badly, as we saw last season. Pretty evident we needed running backs. Like Devin Neal did all right, but he got hurt too quickly. Alvin Kamara played half the season. He never came back. Some of the backups did really solid, but they're backups for a reason. They're not meant to be starters anytime soon. So having Travis Kelsey, wrong guy. Travis Etienne come in and sign a couple-year deal with us, that is significant. And then the Saints didn't stop there. We also got a new punter from Minnesota. I think his name is Ryan White. I posted a short briefly mentioning where he came from. I didn't know where he came from initially, but I found out he came from Minnesota. So we got a punter, and thank God we really did need a punter. I mean, if we remember how the punting game went last season, it was not good. And having that guy, and I think he's a high caliber punter. Last I checked, someone corrected me if I'm wrong. But having a punter of his caliber, that's something we desperately needed, especially when we had to punt, and we had to punt a good bit last season. Hopefully we won't have to punt as much next season, but that's a tale for another time. But it's huge. The Saints came out, guns a-blazing in free agency. Said, hey, you want money? Here you go. You want some money too? Oh, there you go. Everybody gets some money. But that wasn't the only one so far. We also re-signed John Ridgway, who I really like that signing. I really like that move a lot because John Ridgway had some impactful plays late in last season. So bringing him back is huge for us, and I absolutely love that. And then last but not least, as of now, of course, fingers crossed, we don't know what the Saints are playing because you never know. Like the Saints have been blowing up my feed all day long, and I'm just I'll be doing this all day long. It's like, oh, is this Saints news? Nope. Is that Saints news? Yes. Oh goodness. But you know what I mean. So the last guy that just showed up that the Saints signed from the Buffalo Bills, and this one has been the most excited, is David Edwards. David Edwards, I know for a fact, is definitely one of the top guards in the NFL, and for good reason. Like, the man hardly allowed sacks while he was playing for the Bills and playing behind Josh Allen. And we desperately needed to fill that spot because, as I mentioned in a previous video, and even in my current YouTube series that I'm making right now, having somebody in the interior is significant. Now we have addressed that. Can we get that to the other side now? Because I think he's doing the left-hand side of the O-line, which is great. Now can we get somebody on the right-hand side? Now, I know some people say, well, you guys got Cesar Ruiz. I'm like, yeah, but Cesar Ruiz is too inconsistent in my opinion. So if we get somebody that's better than Cesar Ruiz, then we're good as gold. So we'll see what happens in due time. But absolutely loving the free agent moves so far in free agency by the Saints. And as I just mentioned before, like, we are not used to this because we haven't seen the Saints really bring any impactful players that are worth $1 in a minute. So like we've seen them make some pretty bad decisions. Like, for example, Derek Carr most recently. God, I don't miss that at all. And then Brandon Browner, I think, was another one. That was a terrible hire. On paper, it sounded good, but the man was constantly penalized. So let's be honest with y'all. But regardless, these are some really good moves that the Saints really needed, and they really need to address. So now that kind of frees up potential to like go out, navigate who's left over in free agency. Now, free agency doesn't really like kick things off until Wednesday, but this is like that unofficial day, as they say it, or really the beginning of free agency nonetheless. And I'm really excited to see where they go from here. So now let me go ahead and now talk about the losses that we have taken so far. We have lost Demario Davis, which really, really sucks. Not gonna lie. And then we also lost Alontae Taylor. Now, those two I suspected, like, at least a month ago. I had suspected that they were probably going to leave us no matter what. And it was for good reason. And I kind of figured we may just be better off without them. But it's going to suck no matter what, especially Demario Davis. Demario Davis is like the leader of all defense, outside of Cam Jordan, of course. Losing a veteran piece like him is going to hurt. But I am trusting the process because, as I mentioned in a previous video, Demario Davis he's aging. So the Jets, I feel that the Jets may have, they probably just don't realize that they're getting an old, aging Demario Davis. Now, I'm not saying he's out of his prime just yet. He's played his balls out for the past couple years while he's in that age of decline. But I feel that this might be that time where he actually will decline, especially with the Jets. I mean, the poor guy. How you doing, Madangoon? Quadruple 8, I'm just gonna call you that. But Sony Styles will be there. I'm not sure who that is. You have to refresh my memory. But anyway, so Demario Davis, yes. So I'm sad that we lost him, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad we didn't pay him. So how big of an impact is his absence going to be on the defense? Well, it's going to be different because the defense is clearly getting younger. We have the majority of the defense is under 25, I believe, maybe under 28 or something like that. But his impact on defense is a difference maker. Now, This will really allow the Saints, especially on the defensive side of the ball, to see what Danny Stutsman has made. And I've been pretty high on him personally, but I've been really high on him personally, but I haven't like seen him a whole lot last year. I saw him in a few plays here and there. He made some good plays here and there, but I didn't see him all the time. Linebacker from Ohio State. Oh, that's right. Thank you for telling me that. Okay, now that's a good one. That's a good one. That's actually somebody I had keep my eye out for this coming draft, which I will make a draft video at some point. So, anyway, yes, that would be a great pick to go for. Definitely a great filler for Demario Davis or whoever leaves us afterwards, or just basically a backup at this point. But anyway, so with Demario Davis leaving us, it's going to be a little bit painful, I think, but at the same time, it's going to be great to see how these young guys really step up. I feel like a year with Demario Davis, especially in the linebacker core part of the defense, is going to be beneficial to them because they realize, okay, how are they going to step up now that Demario Davis is gone? How is his presence going to be impacted by them? You know what I mean? So my hope is that they learn from it and they see how he did things. And, of course, they're going to be much more agile. They're going to be much faster. And that's kind of what we're hoping in our defense next year because our defense, as we've seen, has regressed a little bit over the years. Last year was actually better than I was anticipating because I wasn't expecting all these young guys to just make immediate impacts like they did. So seeing that and realizing we don't really necessarily need Demario Davis is a huge plus for me. So and then like one of the guys in the comment section talking about the guy from Ohio State, that just adds to it because the key for this team is to get younger, and getting younger on the defensive side of the ball is going to be critical. So again, thank you for everything, Demario Davis. We're going to miss the hell out of you. I wish I got to meet you in person, but I hope you come back and retire as a Saint one day. So now, let me go ahead and move on to Alontae Taylor. Alontae Taylor is somebody I didn't think would just work out long-term for us. Like, Alontae Taylor, he has some good strengths, but he also has some issues he's got to work on. So he's got pros and cons. Let's start with the pros. The pros are he's one hell of a blitzing kind of safety cornerback. What I forget what position he is. But, so he's got that. He also can cover pretty well in some not the slots. That slots is one of his cons. But he can cover pretty well when it comes to like running backs or doing short routes and mid routes. But he gets cooked pretty bad in the slot. He gets cooked pretty bad on the deep routes, and he's kind of in an inconsistent play. Like 1 week he's good, and then the next week he's absolute garbage. So I don't know, man. Like for me, I think we kind of are fine without him because last year I feel like he was just about the same. He didn't really show me anything that's worth paying him more money to let him stay on. So, but the fact that Tennessee really threw the bag at him, I just got a few words for you, Tennessee Titan fans. Good luck, because you might just get the same play out of him. Plus, that's a whole new defensive system you got going on over there with a new head coach and everything. So I don't know how well that's going to work out for you guys. So good luck. That's all I can say about that. But for us, I think we made the wise decision in not re-signing him because, as I mentioned, he's got too many. He's kind of up and down for me. I'm not sure how you guys feel about him, but for me, he was kind of up and down. I saw good things. I saw bad things. But was he really worth the money? That's the question I kept asking myself. I tell myself no. I don't think he's worth that kind of money. So I think the Saints made a wise decision not bringing him back, and we can probably test free agency market and see who's available to bring in, or really just go into the draft. Like, there's plenty of great defensive players in the draft coming up, I think. So I gotta do some research some more. But honestly, I think we're pretty much going to be good on that. So his impact on the defense, I don't think is going to make much of a difference. So it just opens the door to Jonas Sanker really taking the full term, or he's really taking the starter job from Alontae Taylor. I think maybe that's one of the things that Alontae saw, was that Jonas Sanker is kind of like better than him on paper, that is. And I think Jonas Anka did way better than him, periods, this past year from the games he played, of course. But all in all, this allows them to like navigate free agency some more, maybe bring another safety that's available in free agency, or simply go into the draft. Simple as that. So, yeah, man. So sad things about DeMario and not so much sad things about Alontae. Now, the next $1 million question, I forgot to put this in the 3 questions of the day, is what's going to happen with Cam Jordan with all this happening so far. Cam Jordan, I don't know what's going to happen. I know he said he's going to test free agency, but at the same time, I feel like he's just using it as a ploy to get more money from the Saints. I got a good gut feeling he's going to be one of those guys that actually will come back for like maybe 1 more year and then call it quits. Because Cam Jordan had a resurgent year last year. There's no doubt about that. He actually had more sacks in the last 2 or 3 years before, because the last 2 or 3 years, I think he was like constantly injured and was never really that available. This past year, different story. He looked like his old self again, and that's something I can't really ignore. So it's like, the question I want to ask is, how much more time do we want to invest into him? Otherwise, we could just simply move on, and I don't know who would actually go after him. And yeah, sure, he's going to be he's a Pro Bowl defensive edge tackle. He was a playoff caliber kind of player, if that makes any sense. But at the same time, like, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. So, like, I'm sure any team would love to have him, but at the same time, they have to ask themselves, is his age worth paying for, if that makes any sense? So, with that being said, I think that the Cam Jordan is worth bringing back for at least 1 more year to see how he does. Otherwise, we can always draft his replacement in this coming draft. What's up, Will? How you doing, buddy? Glad you could make it to my channel this time. Good to see you there, buddy. All right, that's my boy Will. We go to Saints games all the time, and I love hanging around with him. We have some funny memories. Funny story. I actually met him on Twitter, and he's one of my Twitter buds. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Yeah. Anyway, so now let's go ahead and talk about question number 3. Who should the Saints get next? Now, I feel like they address the interior part of the offense, which is good. They also addressed the running back situation. Now should they address the receiver? Now, I noticed earlier today that Alec Pierce re-signed with the Colts, which is good because he was actually somebody I had my eye on, but at the same time, I wasn't sure if he was worth bringing in. So, and then you got Rashid Shaheed. Now, that was somebody I was like, that would be the funniest story ever if we brought him back after we trade him off last year. Because Rashid Shaheed, he's got no ill feelings towards New Orleans. He's made that pretty evidently clear in this past Super Bowl. So, at first I was like, yeah, I'm on board bringing him back. But then I started thinking, he didn't exactly click well enough with Tyler Shough. And he was also pretty injury prone whenever he was with us. So, was he really worth bringing back if that were ever going to be the case? Sadly, no. But in the end, it doesn't matter because he's now re-signed with the Seattle Seahawks, which I think makes the most sense because that offense that they got installed going over there suits his style more, and he could be a dangerous punt returner for them or a kickoff returner or be one of those deep threats. Now, I know he wasn't used as much as we did, but I think they'll find a way to use him now that he'll have a whole year under the or at least this whole offseason, really, for the Seahawks. So, but anyway, going back to the Saints, who should they get? I think if they wanted to, they could go look for receivers that are currently available. But at the same time, I wouldn't invest too much in those free agents because I would prefer that the Saints get a receiver in this coming draft. So, now, who should they get in the draft? I don't know quite yet. If you have any suggestions, go ahead. Comment below. See who you want as a receiver. Let me be clear about that. But as far as receivers go, I think we should go for the draft and not someone in free agency because I've seen free agent like, especially this current list of free agents, like, for example, Mike Evans. Mike Evans sounds like, oh, yes, absolutely, we should totally get him. But this past year, he's been injury prone, and he's also getting old. So the fact that he's going to the Niners for, I forget how long, how much he's getting from the Niners, I don't think that's a good idea. So we probably just missed that. Thank God. We just completely missed on that. So, but, yeah, anyway, so available receivers, and I could probably just look it up real quick. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Let's see here. Gotta mosey around my mic here. Let's see. Whoops, that's not it. Let's see, available wide receiver free agents. Who's available? Because I can't think of other than a few. Okay, DeAndre Hopkins is available. Oh, Juwan Jennings is also available. That's an interesting choice. And then Jalen Naylor is also available. These are the current ones, and they did list the ones I already mentioned. George Pickens is available. Now that's fascinating. Nah, we're probably not gonna get him. I think he's gonna re-sign with the Colts unless he gets in trouble again. Let's see. Wait, is Deebo Samuel available? Is that true? Oh wow, did not know that. Interesting. Oh yeah, and Stephon Diggs is available. So there's a couple options here. Oh, and Romeo Doubs. Now, Romeo Doubs. That could be an intriguing. That could be an intriguing pickup if the Saints thought about it. But question is, will they actually do it? I don't know. You tell me. I'm not inside the Saints. I'm just a random YouTuber. So, but yeah. Anyway, so any of those guys, really, the Saints could go after. But if I'm going to be honest, I think we should, like I mentioned, we should just draft a receiver in the draft, and then as far as free agency goes, I think we need to continue to address the offense some more, and maybe we can bring in some more defensive pieces for the defense. Maybe a safety since we're losing Alontae Taylor. Maybe a linebacker because of Demario Davis. Maybe an edge tackle because potentially maybe Cam Jordan. We could think of a million reasons why we should hit the free agency for specific positions that really could use a veteran piece. So, but we shall see. Am I right? We shall see. So, anyway, I think that's about all I got for today. I think, do I have anything else to really talk about? Yeah, I think this is all I have for today. But thank you guys for tuning in, for those who checked it out. Don't forget to check out my YouTube series. It's called Gone Mad for Madden. I'm in the middle of working on episode 3 for the series, and I think you guys are going to really love it, especially this last episode. So, again, thank y'all for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Who dat?
KK, you are the savior. We yelling black and gold to the Super Bowl. Black and gold to the Super Bowl.